Jo, halt zurück zu Dr. Dekker. Ich bin nicht schlauer als vorher, egal. Wir machen trotzdem weiter und befragen einfach mal, ja, hier.
I've been reviewing your files. I
Ja, sie hat
know,
da
I'm sorry, a
Neuigkeiten.
bit naughty, but have you considered that Mariana may have murdered Dr. Dekker because of the money she owed him? As she had most to gain. She got all the money if he died, and it makes most sense, doesn't it? Dr. Decker's prescription pad is still missing. I'll let you know if it turns up.
Tja.
I didn't know anything about that. If I have any grievances with my employer, I spit in their coffee. I hope that's how you like it. Don't become like Dr. Dekker. I think that somebody killed him because he was using them. There's some footage I can't show you because it would affect you too much. Suffice to say, when Mariana told him she could breathe underwater, he wanted the same power for himself. So instead of trying to cure her of it, he'd try and amplify it to see how it worked, so he could imagine it for himself. I think he did that with all his special patients. I think he wanted all of their powers.
Tja, dann hat er aber welche.
If you believe in that
Super,
sort of thing.
Superkräfte.
Any patient who presented with psychokinetic issues, they were his special patients. Towards the end, he began ignoring all the other cases. Most of the patients saw it as a curse, what they were experiencing, what they were unwittingly doing. Dr. Dekker saw it as an ability, a power to be harnessed and used for, well, God knows what he was going to use it all for. So we made them give in to it, and it consumed them, consumed all of them. Whether you believe any of that or not is your choice, but they did, which made them angry. And that's why I think he was murdered by a patient.
Tja, die bringt ja ganz schön viel auf den Tisch, ne? Aber sie selber, weiß nicht.
I think I'm okay with the grief now. My mother died suddenly, and I think I was projecting Dr. Dekker's death to be about her. I know they're not related. My mother died suddenly, like Dr. Dekker. For her, though, it was different. She burst into flames. I was 7. They said she must have been smoking and drinking on the sofa, but she doesn't smoke or drink. Professor Alderby said it was spontaneous combustion. I'm worried about you, Doctor. You seem quiet and, well, it's just your fingerprints on the bottle. Maybe you touched it by accident? You didn't know him, did you?
Wer stellt eigentlich hier die Frage?
You just seem a little different from the person who turned up all those weeks ago. You don't talk to me as much as you did. You flitter between patients in a daydream. Tell me what things are bothering you.
Wer ist denn hier der Doc?
Who measures sanity or insanity? One man's philosopher is another man's fool. I'm keeping an eye on you. I won't let you go crazy.
Das ist ja super. Danke, das ist ja richtig nett. So, die müssen wir mal in die Zange nehmen, oder? Weiß ich nicht so richtig.
People follow me into the sea. I don't force them, they just follow to see the creature. I prefer actions over words, Doctor. You know that. Why would someone steal Dr. Dekker's prescription pad? I didn't even know he had one.
Warum wohl? Aha.
Wow. That's a low blow, Doctor. And after all our sessions, I'm not a thief. Even the loan, that was just unfortunate. Dr. Dekker asked for his loan back after diagnosing me as sane. In his opinion, my blackouts and everything else were fictional. He had no proof, of course, either way, or I'd be cured, but he asked for his money back, and I didn't have it. I'm not sure what you'd call it. A wisp? A star? It's so bright and warm and loving. I don't know why it leaves me. It only wants the others.
Die ist schon spooky, ne?
It feeds on them.
Die ist spooky.
When I look down, I black out. But if I can just keep looking forward, no blackouts. I can just swim back to the top when it's finished. You really want to know? If I look down, it's writhing, just limbs of people from the clubs and the bars. Not just from this week, but last week, last month, last year. They all look terrified, but somehow still alive. The creature. It's all inside them, poking holes through them that they shouldn't have. It just eats them. Slowly.
Boah, spooky, ne? Spooky. Also das mit dem Geld ist ja Quatsch, oder?
The missing people. That's where they go. I don't know I'm doing it. I swear I don't, Doctor. The creature. I hear it. It's hungry. Nobody can know. It's our secret.
Gar nicht our secret. Oh Mann, jetzt habe ich schon wieder drauf gedrückt. Shit, Mann. Na gut.
I can't explain what happened with John. He followed me back from the bar that night and swam with me under the ocean. I blacked out. He'd gone. It's our secret. What will you tell people, that I'm
Also for sure.
feeding people to a creature at the bottom of the ocean? What proof do you have? You can't tell on me. You know what you do to me. When you visit. I let you do it because sometimes I'm ashamed of what I've done. You make me feel like I deserve it.
Wer ist denn John?
You must have read about John in the news. He was a local student who went missing. He was a looker. And he had a way with words, but he was also a cheat. The creature liked eating him a lot.
Mhm.
But I can't explain what happened next. I left him to be eaten. And the next morning, he turns up in my bed at my house. He's not wet at all. No signs he's been in the sea, but he has holes in him. Lots of holes. His inside is on the outside. Just a ball of tangled worms. And now they're blaming me, but you knew that, Doctor, didn't you? That's why I'm here.
Wer beschuldigt dich denn?
They think I killed John. John and some others. They need to know whether I'm insane or not.
Oh Mann.
I don't dream, Doctor. I haven't dreamed for years now. Yeah. I did say that was a dream, didn't I? Is it easier to swallow, knowing it's the truth? The truth is, I'm not like you, Doctor, or anyone else. I can swim to the bottom of the ocean for hours, and people follow me, even if it's the last thing they do.
Was ist denn mit John passiert, mein Freund?
No! The creature killed John.
Aha.
My lawyer. He says I'm insane, but that he needs you to rubber stamp it. Do you think I'm insane, Doctor?
Ja, das glaube ich schon.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all I ever needed to hear you say. Why would I do that? Dr. Dekker transferred our loan agreement to Claire at Castleford. She bought him out. I owe her the money now.
Aha, interessant.
I don't know why she did it, but Dr. Dekker got repaid, and now my agreement is with Claire. You should ask her. You get inside me, Doctor, and it hurts. And you don't care.
Ach, die ist echt ganz schön drauf, ne? Claire mal fragen, das wäre nicht schlecht. Ist sie da? Jo.
I never saw Dr. Dekker's prescription pad. I imagine he kept it hidden away.
Komisch, ne?
Stop people stealing it?
Gesehen.
I've already told you, I never saw his prescription pad, so of course I didn't write any death threats. It sounds like someone is trying to frame me. Who's trying to frame me, Doctor? It's true. I didn't see the prescription pad. He gave me that prescription for the sleeping tablets just as I was leaving one day. He said it was worth trying them, but I wasn't sold. Anushka's fine, I would imagine. Her father came over to talk about the missing cat. It would have been an easier conversation had I not been splattered in blood and sweating like a milkmaid.
It seemed like he wanted to give me a piece of his mind, but when he saw the state I was in, he fled. There were no police that turned up. I suspect I've got away with it, at least this second time. Now all that's left is for you to write up my diagnosis.
Tja.
That I'm not sound of mind. That I wasn't sound of mind when I killed David. It's up to you whether you want to mention any of our other conversations. I'm happy either way. Oh, the continuing saga of Dr. Dekker. After he'd seen David and done his due diligence, he came up with an offer I couldn't refuse. Remember? The one I told you about when we first met.
Puh, was ist denn hier
Dr. Dekker wanted me to reanimate him. He said he would kill David unless I agreed. He called me on Valentine's night. He promised to use a disposable phone so there would be no trace. I was supposed to come here, where I would find him dead, and then reanimate him. I agreed immediately. It seems that Dr. Dekker went through with his half of the agreement. But I forgot to turn up.
Okay. Bryce? Nee, Bryce nicht schon wieder.
What about the prescription pad?
Digga, ist weg und du hast das.
Yes, I took it. I had to.
Aha. Please explain, ey.
Dr. Dekker told me he could use it to take away my gift.
Okay.
Someone was sending Dr. Dekker death threats. Had no idea. He never said anything to me about it.
Mhm. Also sie hat's geklaut, das ist in Ordnung.
Then why are your fingerprints on his vodka bottle? No, don't answer that. Oh, the infectious madness of Dr. Dekker, who hasn't it touched? I'm so worried. It's not your job to find out who the murderer is. It's the police. You can only point them in the right direction. Murder is a means to an end. There's a lot more going on here you should be thinking about.
Was denn zum Beispiel?
A fictional space god that's resting at the bottom of the Atlantic. It's not likely, is it? Or maybe you think it is. Have you spoke to Mariana today?
Ja klar.
Your patience will always be a bother, but you're caring for people. We do still care, don't we, Doctor? In a few weeks' time, there'll be a whole new bunch of faces with a whole new bunch of quirks. Let's not have a whole new doctor, shall we?
Nochmal.
I'm fine, Doctor. I went to the beach, swam under the sea, and returned to tell the tale. No blackouts. Nothing. You're a naughty one, Doctor. You know you visited my home. Why do you keep denying it? Don't you remember? That's a shame. You had fun. If you can't remember, I'm certainly not going to enlighten you.
Okay.
She's the woman that took over the loan I had with Dr. Dekker.
Die ist komplett durchgeknallt, ne? So Nathan hatten wir auch noch was Wichtiges. Ja, lass uns die nochmal eben angucken.
Things have been interesting. Thanks to Mariana.
Wieso denn?
We went on a date. Well, sort of. She texted me this bar she was going to, and I just turned up. She can dance. I was transfixed most of the night. Next thing I know, I'm lying in my bed, at home. The room's spinning. The day moved forward. In fact, every night I go and watch Mariana dance, the day moves forward. Do you think Mariana likes me? I'm at peace with Hannah now. I can save her. And I'll keep trying, but I must move forward. I did kind of ask you not to talk about this anymore, but I suppose you're not taking notes.
Nee, Mariana mag dich nicht oder sollte dich nicht mögen.
So what you're trying to say is that Mariana is just using me and has no interest in me romantically whatsoever.
Korrekt.
Thanks. That helps my self-esteem.
Ja. Oh.
His prescription pad's missing. The one with all the death threats on it.
Aha.
Do you think the murderer took it to cover their tracks?
Also ist er der Einzige, der es dann wohl weiß, ne?
I suppose it could be a coincidence, but I'm guessing whoever murdered Dr. Dekker stole his prescription pad. I think you know who killed Dr. Dekker, so you're gonna have a good day. Can we talk a bit about hypnotism, though? This might feel like the darkest timeline, but it's not my darkest timeline. I didn't kill Dr. Dekker. I'd look at one of your other patients, or maybe even your assistant. I've heard you can plant key words in people when they're hypnotized. How would I know if I had any? I think that the hypnotism didn't take, but maybe Dr. Dekker did hypnotize me, and it did work, and he told me to think that it didn't. I think I found one of the key words. I can't say what it is. I don't want to trigger it. I was on the phone to my dad last night, and he said something, and boom, I fell asleep. Normally I wish that kind of thing would happen, but it just happened. I phoned him back. I thought it was seconds, but it was an hour later. I asked him what he'd said. He'd watched some NASA program. He was reading off planets. It was one of them. Pluto's not a planet, is it? And why are you even trying? I don't want it to be triggered.
Okay. Boom. Ne, er geht. Okay, schlafwandeln oder was? Wiggity Wack. Saturn. Hallo? Oh, da kommt er wieder. Hallo. Also.
I teleported back into the art gallery after our session, in the midnight hour. I replaced the painting, so I haven't stolen anything for a long time now. Perhaps a cheeky borrow best describes it. I didn't steal Dekker's pad. I didn't have to. If I wanted to use it, I could just teleport in here and steal a sheet. Why take the whole pad? Why be that obvious?
Ist was dran, ne?
Well, kudos to whoever had the guts to do that. Wasn't me. What did they say? You've piqued my interest now. I've tried to avoid my extra hour. I tried to sleep through it. I did try one thing. I spied on you, Doctor. You have a strangeness, don't you? You live in the same house as Dr. Dekker. I spied on him several times, so I know the house very well. You kept it almost entirely the same. Why did you live in the same house as Dr. Dekker? Is it a perk? Or you, Dr. Dekker?
Interessant.
I thought you were. You've come back to teach us all a lesson, haven't you? To punish us for trying to kill you. No, it can't be you. Prove to me you're Dr. Dekker. I waved back at Jessica yesterday, and she smiled. It was bigger than normal. I think we may have made a connection, Doctor. The photos I have of her, I think I'm going to destroy them. They're my problem, not hers.
Ja, das solltest du tun, mein Freund. Will ich das noch wissen?
I'm not feeling very well. I tried to sleep through the midnight hour, and I slept for 8 hours. When I woke up, it was looking at me. That thing was looking at me. Time was still frozen. But I can't escape it. I'm doomed. It knows what I did with Dr. Dekker. It's been taunting me.
Okay.
It wanted me to follow it, so I did. It brought me here, Doctor. Here. It thinks I killed Dr. Dekker. I'm sure of it. I took his body. It was me. I took it from the coffin because I didn't want him put in the ground. I don't know what I was going to do with him. I just didn't think burial would be enough. Maybe I would cremate him. But the body disappeared.
Weggebeamt.
If only he'd been cremated like you will be. I have a private tool shed at the graveyard. I moved his body in there before the burial. But when I came back, he'd gone. It was locked and he'd gone. How did that happen, Doctor? How did Dekker do that?
Beamen. Ooh.
It's not out of the question to think that Dr. Dekker teleported himself out of the tool shed. If I can do it, he probably can. That's the kind of thing I've been thinking. But the thing that's been following me, it can teleport too. I think the thing might be Dekker. Is the thing Dekker?
Klar, pass auf. Yes.
And so it is. The thing is Dekker, and the thing wants to kill me. Please, tell Jessica I love her.
Weggebeamt. Okay. Oh Gott.
Perhaps. It had crossed my mind that Dr. Dekker perhaps resurrected himself. Maybe he wasn't dead. Just sleeping.
Just sleeping, klar.
If someone else moved Dekker, they'd had to have picked the lock, moved the body, and then locked up again. Why go to the trouble of locking up again? The thing that's following me, it doesn't have a face. I saw it close up when it was standing over me. It has no face, no eyes, no mouth, no nothing. Inside its hood is just space. Just a black hole. I tried to sleep through my extra hour. I didn't want to face it. That thing has been taunting me. I wish I was still religious.
Tja, ich glaube, der Kollege hilft mir nicht. Gut, die anderen werden wir uns beim nächsten Mal reinziehen. Mal gucken, was die noch ausspucken. Ich komme hier irgendwie nicht weiter. Naja, schauen wir mal. Also, bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.